Hey there, how's it going? So in the past 40 years or so, with the rise of the New Age movement, then there has been a industrialization of spirituality, with people charging for, you name it, massage, Reiki, acupuncture, angel readings, chakra balancing, emotional release workshops, massive expos with people selling their books and their jewelry and the dream catchers, the Native American dream catchers, and you can get a picture taken of your aura, which you got to pay for. People are making millions and millions of dollars off of spirituality. And in my opinion, there is nothing wrong with that. So money is an integral part of human society. And that's the first thing to look at, is the reality of money and the role that it plays. And within this judgment against so-and-so as a scammer because they're charging for their services, which is a constant criticism of the New Age movement and spirituality, inherent in that is a general judgment against money. And there's absolutely nothing whatsoever wrong with money. Money is an energy, a completely and utterly neutral energy that can be used for harm or for good. And people like to say, well, we really need to get rid of the money system. That would solve a lot of problems and just go back to a bartering and trade sort of a system. And that would take so much greed and deception out of human society. But in my view, this is completely misguided thinking. Let's just break it down into practical terms. Would you like to go to the grocery store with a wheelbarrow full of various things, your blender that you don't use anymore, or your TV, or your mom's old jewelry, or wood that you chopped, in order to trade for the groceries that you're going to then come back with? What is the alternative if you're not going to use money? Money is a completely practical, just incredibly convenient form of exchange of one thing for the other. As long as you're living in a physical world with physical needs, you need food, you need clothing, you need shelter, you'd like to have some entertainment, some fun to be had on top of the basic necessities, then you're going to need to exchange something for it, and it just makes perfect sense to use money. It's not that it is impossible to have a human society without money. I do believe that is a possibility, where everyone could just be offering their services for free and everyone just, helps each other out. That's absolutely conceivable, and I fully support that as an option. But let's be realistic about where we actually are now and how far away from reality that kind of a paradigm is. And in my view, then that cannot work within massive countries. When you have millions of people within a country, and people are offering services in which they're flying across the country, flying around the world, or driving across a massive city to offer this or that. This kind of a idea of a moneyless society can really only work if you're talking about a small tribe somewhere in which everybody's looking out for everybody else. Everyone's willing to offer their services for free because they know that person, and they know that person's going to be right there for them to help them out. And then the way that they're acquiring their basic necessities is they're hunting, they're gathering, they're farming, they're gardening, they're building their own structures, etc. In other words, forget about modern conveniences and the modern world as it is if you want to talk about a world without money, if you're going to be realistic. So there's nothing wrong with money. It is just a tool that can be used for various purposes. Now, as long as there is money, there is going to be disposable income, hopefully. Otherwise, you're talking about everybody, just barely getting by, which is, of course, the reality for a lot of people, unfortunately. But in this world, people have disposable income. Even people who are just barely getting by can at least afford to go to the movies, buy themselves an extra shirt, every once in a while, or gifts for friends, or whatever. Most people have some money to spend on something other than just their basic necessities. And as long as people have disposable money, then they're going to want to spend it on something. So what should people spend that money on? Well, the typical stuff within the mainstream culture is you go to the movies, you go bowling, you buy clothing, or a boat, or a new car, or a used car, or you spend it on beer, or cigarettes. You go to the casino and gamble it away, or the horse race. There are, of course, many different ways to get rid of your money if that's what you want to do, which eventually you want to do that. Money is useless just sitting around unless you're saving it for something. So money is to be spent. That's the point of it. So along comes this phenomenon of the past 40 years or so of the industrialization of spirituality, of various spiritual offerings and services and products being offered at a price. In my view, then it is a better use of one's hard-earned time and energy to be putting this disposable income towards something that is intended to heal you, bring you greater peace of mind, help to raise your consciousness, promote the evolution of your soul, as opposed to spending it on beer and tobacco and gambling and horse races and stuff that you don't really need. So there is absolutely bullshit within the New Age movement. There is stuff being overcharged. There are, I'm sure, some outright scammers out there, most definitely. But none of that means that overall the whole thing is a big money-making scam unto itself, and that's all that there is to it. People are offering services of an incredibly wide range from, what I mentioned at the beginning here, acupuncture, Reiki, massage. Have you ever gotten a massage? Massages feel awesome. They can transform your week. Now, have you ever given a massage? Like a real massage, not just a 10-minute, rubbing your friend's back massage, but a real 60-minute, 90-minute massage. That's a lot of work. Would you expect, to give somebody that much of your time and energy and then they walk away and don't give you anything in return? I think it's perfectly reasonable for them to charge a price for that. In order to print a book, you have to pay for supplies, you have to pay for it to be printed, you have to put all of the time and energy into the book to write it in the first place. It's perfectly reasonable to charge money for your book. Take your pick, whatever workshop, tantric sexuality workshop, relationship workshop, inner child workshop. Maybe this isn't something that interests you in particular, but it obviously interests a lot of people. And in my view, overall, these kinds of things are leading to greater awareness. They are leading to very real healing of people on many different levels. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You have the body working element of all the various techniques of massage and Reiki and acupuncture and Ayurveda and all, various alternative health and alternative medicine and health food. You have the practical elements of people exploring alternative energy and alternative building techniques and offering their services in that regard. Just run the whole spectrum of every element of human life, and there is some sort of a alternative practice or service or product nowadays that is being offered as a alternative to the mainstream of whatever people actually need, and people do have real needs: food, shelter, and clothing. You can go down to your local Safeway or your local JCPenney or McDonald's or Walmart or whatever in order to get that stuff, or you can go to a alternative that is still in the minority for sure, but becoming more and more popular: your health food store, your New Age bookstore, your arts and crafts and beads and smoking products or whatever, with organic American spirit tobacco and naturally made pipes and whatever. Every facet of human society is being affected in some way by this alternative offering of goods and services and products. And those can't be offered for free. You can't expect another way of living for humanity, of living and being and affecting the planet without money being a factor. So is the New Age movement just a big money-making scam? No, absolutely not, in my view. There are scams going on, there's deception and imbalance and unfair prices and whatever. That's just a part of being human. That's just a part of the human reality. The deception is not about the money. It is about what is in people's consciousness. And the answer is a changing of people's consciousness and awareness, not in just stripping away money or in categorically labeling this whole phenomenon as just a big money-making scam simply because people are making money. We all need money to live, unless you are living in a cave in the Himalaya mountains and surviving off of bugs and grasses and a stream nearby and actually living without money. Then we all need money to live, and there's no reason that money can't be a factor in this movement of creating an alternative for humanity as people wake up and come to greater awareness and start seeking other ways of being that are healthier, that are more balanced, that have less of an impact on the world, and in many cases are actually more efficient and cost effective than the mainstream options. So that's my take. Take care, have a good day.